Welcome to the podcast. It's Mr. Ish. We're here at Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club, Coudert Clubhouse, and our first podcast workshop, I guess. We're doing it on a nice, comfortable day. We don't have a lot of kids around, nobody to bother us. But so far it's going well, and we're going to do some different trainings and different things to talk about. And we have a whole bunch of new people here, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and we'll take it from there. So we'll start off on my left. Just give me your name and a little bit about yourself, and let's get this conversation going.
Hey, I'm Paul. I'm one of the activity specialists at the MS 101 Clubhouse.
Yeah, Paul, don't go too far. I got to drop the bomb on you. Thank you, Mr. Paul, for coming. Appreciate it. Everyone that wants to learn, I have an open house for that.
I'm Charlie. I'm from PS304 Kips Bay, and I do music.
That's my music guy. Take it to my other studio in a little while, see what you can do. And last but not least,
I'm Casey. I'm also from 101 site.
And Casey just want to learn. Casey don't care about nothing else. He's not an audio guy. He's not a visual guy. He's just here to learn behind the scenes. I like that. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the workshop.
Thank you.
So, what do you guys? Well, I guess I went rambling on for about half an hour already. So, what do you guys feel? You feel like this is a good something good for your clubhouse?
I think so. I think depending on the kids who are really interested in doing it, I think if they're truly interested, then they'll really enjoy this because this is the type of media they consume on the regular anyway. So for them to actually participate in it, I think that would be really appealing for them.
Yeah, it's just grabbing them.
Yeah.
Getting them to that room. But I think also when they see all the bells and whistles and all the lights and all that stuff, that kind of makes them feel some type of way.
That gets me excited. Like when I walk in, I see all the buttons. When I walked in before and I saw all the keyboards in there, that's what I gravitate towards.
All right. Right now, I'm showing you, and when I say it's old school, it's not really an old system. This is the Rodecaster Pro. This is the first model. So this model has been out, I think, from when I first started 5 years ago, and it was the go-to, the GOAT. It did everything that it was supposed to do, but with technology, you know how everything changes. There's other people that started catching up to them, so then they had to go back in and reset some things and add some things for podcasters and also for gamers and for music people. So when I show you the new setup, you'll see how a lot of things have changed, but a lot of things are the same. But this is a great startup system. It does everything that you need for podcasting. So this is a nice go-to.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So when you are like complete with the podcast, what do you use to edit? Like you can't do it straight off of this.
You cannot on this one.
Yeah. On
the new one, you can. On this particular model, you cannot edit right off the back. I mean, you could do it on a chip. I do it on a micro SD card. Mm-hmm. But if you had your computer attached to it and you already had GarageBand or Logic or what's the other one, Audacity or something like that, you already had like some type of music system, you could send it out just like that. I have another setup which is with it's called a YOLO box, and actually it records from here to the cameras, and the cameras are live. So the cameras go out to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube as we do in the podcast.
I see.
So the audio goes straight through there, no editing. You know, whichever way I have it set up, and it goes live to the network. So that's the the future of how we doing it. But there's different ways of doing it. I still like to take the chip out, go to the office, and kind of edit it from there. So this does not have a direct. In order to go direct, you have to go through a computer system in order to go direct. Did you introduce yourself? Yeah. You're quiet over there. I forget. You're directly opposite of me, and you're a little quiet.
It just all looks very
complicated, but it's not. If you know how to use an iPhone, you pretty much know how to use any of this stuff. Audio guys will tell you it is complicated when you start getting into the numbers, and if you really start editing and you want the sound waves to be some type of way, yes, it could be complicated. I could go there and sit down and EQ everything and bypass all filters and all this stuff. Yes, you could do that, but it's going to be a lot of production. So the most I try to get it as clear as possible here when we first start, and when I go over there, I could take off some of the hissing, I could take off some of the highs and make it sound as clear as possible. But this is the beginning. If you don't do it here, if your voice is not about the same level as I am, then it's going to be harder for you to edit on the other line. So this is kind of like you start off good, it should end up good, and you tweak it at the end.
All right.
So it's not. It's almost like say I'm taking a picture. I kind of know the lighting. I'll take a picture. If it's something that I have to lower the lighting because it's too much, I'll lower it a little bit. But my picture should be decent enough. When I go in, I could tweak it, more color here or something like that. So it's kind of the same thing here. So don't get amazed by all the stuff that's going on. It'll be a simple process when you get it done. We'll actually start a podcast. We'll edit a podcast and we'll post the podcast. So you get to see all the different steps throughout the day. We'll do that. Anybody else wants to add something to it? Don't start being quiet because then I start playing my crickets. I don't want to have to show you. You wanted me to play effects? That's what it was? Oh, okay. What are you curious about?
We have we're in an after-school program. These kids are in school all day, and I find that there's a lot of resistance to any structured activity whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we've done sort of what you touched on already with like letting the kids choose their topic, but it seems like even that is a big ask of them to choose what they want to talk about. So I'm wondering if you had any particular kind of technique you use to get them more actively engaged.
You kind of have to know the audience. Obviously, you have to know if you're dealing with. We have one of our gentlemen here, Mr. Ash. He has a group that they're older. They seem to think they know everything. So with them, you're still giving them the freedom of what you want to talk about, and then you always say, no, I'm not going there. I'm not talking about boyfriend, girlfriends. I'm not talking about this. And try to get one thing that at least 2 or 3 of them could agree, and then they'll be like, ooh, okay, I'll do it. I don't care if it's fast food that you want to talk about. Like if I see somebody with McDonald's, I'll be like, yo, McDonald's sucks. And they'll be like, no, McDonald's is the best. I'll be like, no, Wendy's is better. Oh, 5 burgers. And then I make it what's the best burger you ever had? And I'll make a podcast like that because, or something about food or anything like that. As long as I get them talking, I'm already winning. I don't like to get into the papers. I think we spoke about that, into showing them like, hey, we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about this, because that's going to bore them. They're going to feel like, oh, now I have paperwork that I have to read and do. So they still feel that they have a freedom because I'm picking something that one of their group members agreed on. In front of us, I have some other things that I use. They call pod decks. And we'll go into that in the next stage, but that's another way to kind of give them a way to pick a topic that just comes right off their mind. But I don't know if writing them down, let's say putting them in a hat, a couple of topics and just pulling one out, whichever way you feel like they still part of it and they're still choosing, I think it's the way to go. And then if it doesn't work, like if you pick a topic and it's not working, you'll be like, all right, we tried. 3 other kids, let's go and let's do something else. So not shying away from them, but always giving them the opportunity to be creative and talk about something that they want to talk about is kind of the way to start building them. Start building the audience with them.
Yeah, because like Paul said, they're coming straight out of school to us, so they're in the mindset where they don't want to do work anymore. And if we're picking topics and saying, hey, this is what we're going to talk about, it feels forced and they don't want to do it. So I think giving them the option is good.
Even with that, I have conversations with them about testing. Like this, from working in the system, you already know that basically from February to April, all they care about is testing. The DOE is about testing. And, the ELA and this and that. So you could talk to them about that, how that affects them. My daughter will sit down here and tell you that there's a lot of pressure on her. Like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. And so even having that way to express themselves and say things, a teacher's not going to let you do that. Your parents don't really care. They know that the test comes in April and you got to take it. And that's the way you're going to pass. So, but for me to sit here and say, I've been there. I know the testing is hard. I see the kids struggle. Is it something that you need help here? Is it something that, you might need extra homework help, and kind of make it seem like, hey, we're here to help you. So if you need it, we're going to help you. And even if this is a way to communicate with your parents and speak about it, I'm fine with that. So it's a way for them to open up. So any little topic is a way, for them to express themselves. So that's a good one. Anyone else? And believe me, look, we already did 10 minutes, and we said we were going to do what, 6, 7?
Yeah, it feels like nothing when like when you really get into it. You're just having a conversation. You don't keep track of time. So
yeah, it seems to go pretty fast.
Yeah.
So we're going to end this one here. We're going to do some other tests. This is just so you can get an idea of how it works out. And I'd like to thank you guys, and see you guys later.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2. Check, 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 check.
Exercise 1 went well.